Good evening, it's Steve with CarSmart in Niagara Falls, and we've got another nice vehicle for you today. This is a 2021 Toyota RAV4. Now this is called the Trail Edition. The Trail Edition is sort of the off-road, beefed up model. A lot of sportier appearances, leather interior with orange piping, etc., etc. Again, real sharp car. Lovely color combination too. This is what they call lunar rock with the white, optional white roof, and it's sort of a metallic, sort of pearlized white roof. You can see with a big, oversized power moon roof, and let's say that lunar rock is sort of a greenish gray. Again, different color. Again, so many of the same colors it seems out there, which always nice when they come out. Contrast with the white roof and all the black accents and moldings. Very, very sharp. Anyways, this is a one-owner car, hailed out of Toronto. Clean Carfax history, totally accident-free. I apologize if the wind is creating havoc with the audio. It's trying to shield the microphone as I talk here, but it's really seemed to be picking up. Anyway, these come with nice big 19-inch wheels. You can see the tires, decent tread on them. All-season steel-belted radios. Of course, we have nice bright, sort of both low-beam, high-beam LED lights. Now you'll see that the inner one not illuminated. That's because the high beams aren't on. There's on low beams there now. Then you also have a quartz halogen headlight, or a fog light I should say, down below. Integrated into the center here is the advanced radar cruise control, what they call dynamic radar cruise control. So that's sort of reading the distance between you and the vehicle, or any other object for that matter ahead of you on the road. But when you're cruising on the highway, it allows you to sort of set your cruise control to an automatic mode where it will automatically maintain the gap between you and the vehicle ahead. And for safety's sake, you can sort of set 3 different levels of sort of, I guess, how close you wish to be to that vehicle, and depending on the speed and the traffic, etc., and your comfort level. And again, that all controls it. Other neat features it has up top, one is rain sensor wipers, and then there's a camera system right in the top center of the window, sort of in behind where their mirror mounts. And that's sort of tracking what's going on ahead of you on the road. So it actually reads the lines, the center line on the road, as well as the curbside lines, and allows you to maintain your steering control. Now, again, there's different things. You can turn it off altogether. You can have it so that it's just going to give you a warning, or you can have what they call lane keeping assist, where it will actually use sort of steering input to sort of nudge you back towards the center of the lane. So again, depending on your comfort level and what you like, you can set it any way you wish. But it's also, road departure, and this, a lot of people are injured or killed annually just, falling asleep at the wheel. And having that little extra nudge to sort of wake you up if you are sort of departing the road in that sort of situation could be a lifesaver. So great feature to have. We also have LED lights in the mirrors, and you notice all blacked out mirrors, blacked out trim, top and bottom, of course, over the wheel arches. And that continues down to nice big stout sort of splash guards front and rear. Cladding that sort of not only protects the lower doors, so that lower 6 inches all covered, but also goes all the way down on the underside of the rocker panels as well, so protecting those as well. We'll get into the interior in a moment, but you get nice sort of blacked out roof racks with the elevated rails. Of course, you can get crossbars that attach to that either through Toyota or through the aftermarket. There's lots of options for those. Nice big power sunroof that both tilts as it is now and slides fully open. You've got that shark fin antenna up top for your satellite radio as well. And again, things like a power tailgate, which we'll get into in a moment, rear wiper washer, third LED brake lamp. Again, all the blacked out moldings, blacked out surrounds around the tail lights. These have LED brake lights as well for better visibility. Fuel door itself it's locked. There's an inside release, but these just take regular gas. This is a non-turbocharged, 4-cylinder, 2.5 liter. Again, these are rated at 200 We've got blind spot assist as well as rear cross traffic assist, and that's all accommodated with sort of a sensor that's in the back corner of the bumper. And what that does is it's sort of reading what's going on sort of adjacent to you and or motion moving laterally across the rear. So whether you're backing out of a parking spot, maybe somebody's driving along and you don't really see them and they're moving along quick, it'll give you that warning. And same thing for lane changing and blind spot assist, and that's all accommodated with a warning that comes up within the mirror itself. Opening the door is a real breeze because it has these sort of smart proximity keys. You just leave them in your pocket or your purse, or when you come up, you just sort of touch the door handle and the truck automatically unlocks. Of course, we've got power windows, door locks, and mirrors. There's a safety lockout switch here to sort of cancel the other 3 power windows. So if you have kids sitting in any of those positions, it locks them out. Electric mirror controls. Again, mirrors are also heated for defrosting. Nice big pockets within the door. Nice big sort of coaxial speakers up here. Dome tweeters on either corner up top. Rear speakers, so 6-speaker audio system. Real nice system, clean power. And this has additional window tinting. If I sort of drop that a bit, you'll sort of see the cutaway here. So it's an additional film they've done on the front to sort of match the privacy tint that's factory on all the rear windows, so it gives it a nice sort of more consistent look. So a lot of people really like that. And you may have noticed like the little orange sort of stitching and orange moldings and around the cup holders, around the leather seats, and that sort of center stripe down the middle as well. So again, we've got a nice deeply bolstered sport seat, so lots of side lateral bolsters, lower bolsters, and it also has a power lumbar bolster that sort of enhances the support for your lower back. Add to that 8-way power seat plus the power bolster, so 10-way total power adjustable seat. Makes for great comfort. We have a tilt and telescopic wheel, so between all the height adjustment and seat adjustability, between that and the steering wheel, you're bound to get a real good safety, good driving position. Now it's got all the extra sort of winter, Toyota sort of deep tray mats. They sort of copied the WeatherTech style of mat, so again gives it a nice deep tray to collect all the crud in the wintertime. Then you've got your hood and gas cap releases right here. And there's a whole bank of switches here, including a dimmer switch for all your dash and interior lighting, auto headlamps on and off. So with that activated green light on, at nighttime as another car approaches, it'll automatically dim your high beams for you. This switch here activates what they call a front wiper park de-icing. So right at the base of the windshield, under where the wipers park, this will de-ice and melt all the snow and whatnot off in the wintertime. Heated steering wheel, and the last one here is the power tailgate, both opening and closing. Of course, this is a handy little storage shelf. So let's jump inside. We'll get a better look at all the other stuff. So it's got 112,000 kilometers on it. So let's just sort of zoom in there. You'll see that over in the lower right corner. Nice big analog speedometer. Now that center display there, you can go through and change, based on sort of a little thumb control here right on the steering wheel that allows you to sort of go through and look at messages from things like texting, all your settings for vehicle setup, your trip odometers, your audio selection. I don't have anything playing right now, but again, cruise control on and off, lane assist off. It's telling you, what's going on with your various settings. I just turn them on there now. Of course, your headlights are over on the side here. Now you do have an automatic mode for auto on off. Of course, your fog lights, there's that other little inner switch there. On the opposite side, we have our variable delay wipers. Now the front ones have that rain sensing, so when you go into the intermittent mode, this is where the automatic will set up, or the automatic sensing will set up, and it'll actually speed up and slow down your pulses on that intermittent wipers based on the amount of precipitation and the speed that you're driving on that. Then we've got other things here. Ambient outside temperature. P just indicates you're in the park position of your transmission. You can get a digital readout either in miles per hour or kilometers per hour through here. And then we've got warning lights here just telling us our parking brake is on, and I don't have my seatbelt done up. But this sweep gauge here is your tachometer, so that's telling you what your engine RPMs are in 1,000 RPMs. So this is an 8-speed overdrive automatic transmission with what they call direct shift. So you have the ability to manually shift through the gears if you choose. But it sort of allows you to really control your engine RPMs. If you're into light-duty trailer pulling, or certainly if you're in off-road situations. excuse me. Yeah, excuse me. It allows you to really control your engine speed, and especially in off-road situations, you might want to keep your RPMs up to keep those wheels spinning, to so you're not getting stuck in the mud and that sort of thing in those extreme conditions. So other controls here, volume controls, voice controls. So again, when you're using your Bluetooth, your hands-free phone, or other voice commands, because you can also control things like your audio systems and whatnot. And then this also has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So I have my iPhone hooked up right now, so that's sort of a map screen with Google. You can see, and one thing I like about the Google Maps is you can sort of choose those sort of overlays. Now you can go into the settings and change that as well. If I'm in the right spot here. No, I'm in the wrong one here. Where are we here? So we'll go back to the main. Oh yeah, it's up here in the settings button. There we go. This is where you would turn off the Google Map overlays, satellite images, and go back to a conventional map. But again, this nice thing with smartphone applications like CarPlay or Android Auto is you're using the maps directly from your smartphone. You can see my smartphone sitting down below there. Nice thing with smartphone maps is they're always up to date. Every time your phone goes through an overnight update, maps are included in that update. Vis-a-vis, if you have factory navigation, once the car is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, those maps are getting pretty much out of date. And to go to the dealer and get them updated, it certainly can be done, but it's several $100s per time you do it. So this is a lot more cost effective. And with data rates coming way down on cell phones in Canada, it's not like it used to be where nobody wanted to use their phones for data. You've got texting that you can access from here. If I just go back to the Google Map home screen, you'll see some of the apps right off my smartphone. But whether I wanted to select my own music right off, say, a streaming service like Amazon Music, that's here as well. That's where I can go through and sort of jump back in, playlists, etc. But this is where again you would go in and do all your music streaming. So now you can also do your hands-free phone through the CarPlay and Android apps as well. So several different ways to do it. Old schools with what they call Bluetooth streaming. I guess new school would be through these smartphone apps, but it's got all this technology there. We've got your ability here to sort of set independent temperature zones on driver and passenger sides. I can sync them to the same as the drivers based on preference. Of course, your air conditioning on, off, all your various airflow levels. The auto control is going to allow the various temperature sensors, and there's one up on the dash, 2 down on the footwells, and these are reading different levels of temperature throughout the vehicle, and it's going to then automatically adjust your fan speed and airflow pattern to accommodate what you're looking for. If we move down below that, we get into our heated and cooling seats. Now I have my seat heating right now. It's getting quite toasty, so I'm going to turn it off or turn it down. And then we've got over on the passenger side, we've got 3-stage cooling as well. So both heating and cooling for both sides. Cooling is really accommodated sort of through these perforations in the leather seats by a fan that's actually blowing cold air-conditioned air all up through the seat itself. So really nice on a hot day, even if you're in shorts or a skirt, it really keeps your backside nice and cool, not sweating and sticking. And then here we've got, as you can see, both a 12-volt power socket and a USB port. And then this also has what they call a QI, or wireless charging pad. So when I lay a phone down there, even if it's not plugged in, it's going to charge as long as this light is on, and you can turn it on and off with this switch. And again, that keeps your devices charged automatically. Parking brake can be set manually and released with this little switch. It has an auto hold mode, and if you've ever had that on a car, it sounds kind of ridiculous, but it's kind of a neat feature, especially if you're doing a lot of city driving where it's stop and go. You stop at stoplights, or in high traffic areas. If you're commuting into Toronto and pile-ups and on the highways and traffic jams and whatnot, and often you're sitting in a parking lot for 20 minutes waiting for traffic to move. With the auto hold, what happens is once you come to a full stop, it auto holds, and then you can release your foot from the brake and it will hold until you touch the gas pedal. So if you want to move forward, whether it's creeping or traffic's removing the speed or traffic lights changed, it automatically releases the brake and away you go. Stop again, it holds it. So it just allows you to sort of move around, shuffle around, move your feet, keep the blood and circulation moving around. Back through here, and then this is sort of unique to the trail model, we have several things. One is it's basically a selection where you can select from a normal, a mud and snow mode, and again this is all going to show up here. So if you're going into off-road positions, this is where you would use certainly mud and snow, rock and dirt. So depending on the type of off-road conditions that you're running into, and then if I push the normal button, it goes back to its regular. But it sort of really optimizes the all-wheel drive system, throttle control, braking, steering, everything for those sort of off-road unique situations. We also have a snow mode for wintertime, and what they call a hill descent mode. So if you're really climbing down a steep, especially in the wintertime, steep icy road and whatnot, it's almost like using cruise control in reverse. It'll sort of limit your speed so you won't go past perhaps 15 kilometers an hour or whatever you've set it at. Again, all the instructions are in the booklets for how that works. And then we have the different transmission drive modes, so an eco mode, a normal mode, or a sport mode. So these all sort of change the flavor not only of transmission shifting, but again, steering input. For example, in sport mode, the steering is a little firmer, a little less power assisted than it would be in the normal mode. Eco mode, as its name suggests, really is going to really eke out the best fuel economy in all these situations. So it really controls engine RPMs, maximizes shifting to keep the RPMs as low as possible. Even things like air conditioning cycling is lessened a bit to improve fuel efficiency. So lots of neat features there. On the opposite side here, this is where your other controls on the steering wheel are for the automated or that dynamic radar cruise control. Then you've got seek and scan buttons and mode buttons for your radio selection, or if you're going through satellite radio or other tracks. If you're playing your own playlist, for example, you can move to the next song with that. Mode is going to switch that mode accordingly in your lane assist, and then cruise control sort of gap measuring is through that top button. We have dual stage airbags, one within the driver's steering wheel, a second up top, and then in addition to that are also what they call the side impact airbags, which are right within the sort of side bolsters of each seat. And these are all dual stage in the sense that they will deploy at different levels based on the amount of impact energy that might be associated with any given collision. So it's all designed to give you the appropriate amount of airbag support, but without giving you too much. So again, good safe stuff. When we put the vehicle into reverse, of course we've got a nice big high definition backup camera. These are all touchscreen too, so we can select for different views. There's like a wide angle view or sort of a standard view. I can have it with or without the parking guidelines. Okay, but you'll see like the red lines, yellow lines. These are indicating distance. The blue lines there are really handy with trailer towing because it has a centering capacity. So if you have a trailer hitch hooked up, it allows you to line up to the ball on your trailer, nice and center. The red line sort of indicates you're about 12 inches from touching an object in behind. So again, it's sort of helpful to keep you from marking up your vehicle. Now I do have a customer outside here, so I'm just going to take a quick break, answer a few questions, and I'll be right back to finish up. Okay, we are back. Now, so we didn't go over the top stuff. Of course, you've got your day-night rear view mirror. You've got sort of glasses, sunglasses, driving glasses storage. Then you've got outside sort of individual sort of map lights, spotlights. And then you've got like door switched or overhead lighting. Normally you'll leave it on door switch so that you get that sort of soft fade in, fade out, often called sort of theater dimming with the overhead lamps. Both of the visors have these shade extenders, so sometimes you're driving along and the sun, of course, is peeking right in between the mirror and the visor, so it gives you that extra coverage. They also swivel, with that extender, so you can block the sun coming through the sides. You've got dual, again, on both sides, illuminated visor mirrors that are just switched on and off with the sliding cover. We have side impact airbags. You'll see the little tag there on the front pillar, but they extend up over front windows, rear windows, and they drop down and will stay sort of inflated for upwards of 12 seconds. This is because sometimes in a side impact or more serious rollover type conditions, you really want that bag to stay inflated. If you're bouncing around inside, it's going to certainly protect your head and upper body, especially in a rollover situation if you go off-road into a ditch and that sort of thing. We have height adjustable seat belts, and seat belts themselves have collision pretensioners. These are devices hooked up to the seat belts that really are triggered by the same sensors that deploy the airbags. And in a serious accident, airbags deploy, and the pretensioners, what they do is they tighten those belts instantaneously, like milliseconds. And by tightening those belts, you're not moving around as much, and of course that allows the airbags to take up a lot of that impact force and really protect you. So all these things make a big difference. You have a huge glove box down below, and you'll see inside there that's a wheel lock key for removing the anti-theft wheel locks. And then there's a nice little storage shelf up top. So that's very handy for keeping stuff while you're on the road. And you've got nice big sort of oversized cup holders that take nice big water bottles. And then of course you likely notice in the doors those sort of pockets and sort of tall water bottle holders. Center armrest flips up, and we have 2 more charge ports. And excuse me, you'll see those down there. Lots of space underneath. And last but not least, we have a heated steering wheel. I think I mentioned that earlier. I've got that on there now, nice and toasty, all leather wrapped as well, and tilt and telescoping steering, so you're certainly able to get a comfortable drive position and visibility. So I'm going to open up the fuel door and the hood release. We'll swing into the back here, pointing out a couple of things like child-proof door locks, but just even the way that the seals go. We've got wraparound pinch seals go all the way around the whole perimeter of the car, little seals that sort of lock out wind noise between the doors, all the way down and around. Sort of a pinch seal on the bottom, plus those perimeter seals. So we've got 4 and 5 moldings, and then same thing on the inside here with more pinch seals. A lot of people say, well, Toyotas are expensive. Well, they are, but there's a reason for it. Just they build a hell of a good car. That's probably the most reliable car on the road. They have extremely good resale value for that reason, because they last. I've seen RAV4s over 500,000 kilometers. And not just RAVs, but Corollas, Camrys, right across the line. Their technology is the best, and not always the fastest or the fanciest, but certainly the most reliable and very safe. So, additional sort of mats that cover the full rear, including the hump. You've got little swing down. These are what they call smart charging ports, again for the rear passengers. Rear heat and air conditioning vents, not only through here but also underneath the seats to keep back passengers comfy. You've got a pocket that opens up in there for storage. We have latch / ISOFIX that are the European version of the child seat anchoring. So for all 3 positions in the back, you can flip down the armrest, leaving a center sort of cup holders. These seats flip and fold nice and flat in a sort of a 40-60 split fashion, so you can fold one or fold both. See our fuel door there. Now there's no sticker saying premium gas. These are just designed to run on regular unleaded. Locked fuel door keeps it safe and secure. Now there's several ways to open up the tailgate. One is that little soft touch button that I just pushed. Second is with your key fob, and the third is with the inside switch on the driver's left side of the steering wheel. So we have a retractable and removable cargo panel, so it just sort of draws across and then sort of hooks right in the sides there. They've got the additional sort of RAV4 cargo protection package in the back. Down below is your spare tire, tools. Inside this sort of long item here is what they call a cargo net, and you can hook this up and attach it to these hooks in the sides of the vehicles here. And these are handy for, if you have loose bags or groceries, it's a handy feature to sort of lay out and keep everything from sliding around. Handy little sort of retention net. More power points. You've got a 12-volt power point. We have a regular 2-prong plug there. that allows you to plug in like regular, household current, and that's all accommodated by what they call a built-in power inverter that converts from what they call DC or direct current through to alternating current, like you'd find in your home. So you could plug in, say you're off to a job site and you wanted to recharge your batteries while you're driving there, you can do that kind of thing. So a lot of nice little features inside. Handy little button there to bring that down. And you'll see a lot of nice little styling touches. The kind of that rear sort of ducktail spoiler on the back that has an integrated third brake lamp up there, all LED. Now let's move around to the front hood. So right in the center there's the release lever. There we go. So 2.5 liter double overhead cam, non-turbo, so what we call a normally aspirated engine. Still has 16 valves with variable valve timing. The Toyota's really done a really neat thing with injection. Kind of the latest fad in engine technology is what they call DI, or direct injection. Now the downside of direct injection is it can lead to carbon buildup on the intake valves because they're not getting washed by fuel to really, as a solvent, to keep that buildup from getting worse. So what Toyota did was they developed both direct injection with sequential port injection. So every whatever, I'm not sure what the number of pulses of direct versus the other is, but it gets intermittent sequential bursts of fuel going in through the intake valves, and that eliminates that carbon buildup. So a really ingenious solution to a problem that's really afflicting a lot of manufacturers right now, and it's a very expensive service to get that carbon buildup fixed. So that's pretty much that. You see how clean this is inside. Looks like it's been oil sprayed. It's something you can see. We've kind of cleaned it up and wiped it all down, but body is in really good shape. A couple of minor little stone chips that we've touched up, but all in all, A1 condition. And again, accident-free history, one owner since new. It's what everybody's looking for. And has all its keys, all its books and manuals, so very, very complete. I'm Steve with CarSmart. Thanks for watching.